The Commanders have just landed a new free agent signing. We're going to be discussing it in the video. You see the title, you see the thumbnail, you know what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about that first ballot Hall of Famer, Von Miller, joining the Commanders. I'm your host, Azael Mejia, with Commanders Digest, reporting everything all Washington Commanders, off-season, regular season, and everything between. So if you want to be caught up to date, everything Commanders, make sure to run it up, subscribe to the channel right here. Heard that right. I actually do believe that. I'm going to note off some of his achievements a little bit later in the video, but yes, I'm pretty sure first ballot Hall of Famer Von Miller had just signed with the Commanders, getting that deal done. We love to see it. The Commanders, it goes with the storyline the Commanders have been going through this offseason, looking for that elite defender who can bring that pressure. And you know, people are gonna say here, well, I'm not delusional. Oh, me and Von Miller matching. That was not coordinated, but we're going to be breaking down. I got the stats. I got the quotes. Believe it or not, I've done the research for you, so you don't have to. We're going to be breaking it down. But before we do that, if you're new watcher, new viewer to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button because we do have a subscriber goal trying to get to 500. Yes, 500 subscribers by week 1 of the NFL season. Game 1 for the Commanders is in 7 weeks, and we're close. We're close. Just going to say we're very close to it, so hoping for the best. So if you're new here, subscribe. Now, if you're a returning viewer, you can also help because 87.5 of y'all who are watching the videos are not subscribed. That's crazy because it's for the free skis. It doesn't charge you nothing, and it takes like 2 seconds. That's all it is. You can legit subscribe while you're watching the video. That's how easy it is. But back to Von Miller. Just signed with the Commanders. Big deal. We're going to be breaking it down why this is a great signing for the Commanders. Depending on what they need. I know I've already seen some criticism online. You know what they say about people online. There's a lot more dumb comments than there are smart. So if elite ball knowledge, if you know elite ball knowledge, you'll understand why the Commanders made the signing. And then people are already saying, oh, he's washed, not a needle mover for the Commanders. Of course, he's not going to be a needle mover for the Commanders. That's not the point they signed him for. But we're going to be breaking it down. But before we get to it, we're going to talk about, his accolades and give a little bit of the lore because there may be some new fans, some new bandwagon Commanders. We gotta get back to lore. We gotta talk about we're gonna go in order to understand the future. We gotta break down the past. So we're gonna be breaking down some of his lore. If you know Von Miller, if you don't, pay attention right here. 10 seasons, was drafted by the Denver Broncos, did win a Super Bowl with them back in 2015, I believe. For 2015, yeah, 2015. And then goes off to the Rams for 1 season, wins the Super Bowl there. And then last 3 seasons, he was with Buffalo. So he is a journeyman among the league. This may be his final home. He signed a 1-year deal with the Commanders. And just to talk about some of his accolades that he has, you let me know in the comments down below if this is his first ballot. Alrighty, 2-time Hall of Famer. 1-time Super Bowl MVP. The MVP were the Broncos win against the Carolina Panthers. Over Peyton Manning, he won Super Bowl MVP. 3-time first team All-Pro. 4-time second team All-Pro. 8-time Pro Bowler. 2010's All-Decade Team. The list is listing right now. He does have his accolades. And people were talking about Wentz. He was drafted by Denver. Got a Super Bowl. He goes to the Rams, helps them win a Super Bowl. He tried it best with Buffalo, but if you're not a casual NFL fan, if you understand football, the Buffalo, it ain't on Von Miller. Buffalo be going through stuff. Buffalo be buffaloing. So I'm just gonna say it like that. But looking to win another championship, and that may be with the Commanders. Can he add one more? 2 out of 3. He's 2 out of 3. Can he make it 3 for 4 with the Commanders? Signs a 1-year deal. We don't know how much money yet. That's probably going to be broken down soon. But we got some quotes right here to better understand the situation that Von Miller is going to for the Commanders. We had this first quote from USA Today saying, Miller brings championship pedigree to the Commanders, who made the NFC Championship game for the first time in 3 decades last season. Miller won a Super Bowl in 2015. Okay, I was right about that with the Broncos, in 2021 with the Los Angeles Rams. W quote by USA Today. He does bring that championship pedigree. I feel like people the people who don't have an elite ball knowledge, don't understand the signing behind it. They don't need Von Miller to be 2015 Von Miller where he's tied the record for most sacks in a Super Bowl, 4.5. They don't need that from him. They need a guy who can bring that elite pass rushing effort when needed. That's what I'm going to break down in the next quote. I don't want to get too far. But you see people, Commanders only signed older people, yada yada. This team is washed. Oh, no wonder they have wash in their name because they already signed. There's a reason for this. I was also on the fence when they made signings of Zach Ertz, when Commanders made the signings of Bobby Wagner. I was like, I'm not really too. And then look what happened. I especially remember there was a point of emphasis on those type of guys when it was later in the season. Because what does Von Miller, Bobby Wagner, Zach Ertz have in common? They've been in championship culture. They know what it takes to win. They know how it feels like to play games in December, in January, and those are some stats, some traits that you will not find on paper. That is the type of leaders you need in your locker room, and that's a big reason why. Right there, championship pedigree, two-time champion. You can't MVP. Who can match up? Von Miller also has, since he's entered the league since 2011, has the most sacks accumulated. So, men lie, women lie, numbers though. I'm going to just leave it like that. We also have this quote right here from Lorenzo J. Reyna from Clutch Sports, talking about the scenario that Von Miller will be put in once these games have started, once he starts for the Commanders, saying the likely scenario and Miller can enter games as a situational rusher. Head coach Dan Quinn has shown to be masterful at generating pressure. Quinn likely has special packages he's creating already, with Miller soon joining Commanders NFL training camp. W quote by Lorenzo. That's what we're talking about. We don't need him to play every snap, go after the ball every single time. Put him in situational scenarios. He does great. I believe I should have known that. That's my fault. L analyst by me. I believe his passing defense grade is an 83. So that's high. That's passing right there. No pun intended, but he's great when it comes to the pass rush. He doesn't have to be in every single snap. That's not the point you sign him. I'm pretty sure Von Miller understands that. The Commanders front office understands that there's clear communication on what he can bring to the table. Obviously, he's on the older side. Von Miller hitting 36 back in March. So father time comes for everybody. Maybe not LeBron, but I'm pretty sure Von Miller has come to the ideology that he's not the same player he was back when he was with the Broncos. He's limited on what he can do. He understands, like I said, this may be the last ride. He just signed a 1-year deal with the Commanders. This may be the last ride. That's great to see when players can understand that when it may be time to hang up the boots and some others don't. Aaron Rodgers. Oh, what? Who said that? But we're going to go to this third and final quote from Zack Kelberman. There we go. Zack Kelberman from Sports Illustrated, saying, in Washington, Miller will join notable vets Bobby Wagner, Frankie Louvu, and De'Aaron Payne along the front seven of head coach Dan Quinn's defense, which ranked 11th in the NFL last season with 43 sacks. That's what I'm talking about. You talk about vets, Bobby Wagner, Frankie Louvu. Also, you got to talk about Marshawn Lattimore on the defensive side. You got to talk about Jonathan Jones, 2-time Super Bowl champion. You add Von Miller. And Von Miller, he didn't accumulate a lot of sacks last year. He only accumulated 6. But it sort of helps the deficit that Washington were at. Like we've done a ton of videos of other edge rushers, other linebackers that the Commanders were looking at. If you haven't seen those videos, go watch them after this one. But they needed to recuperate that defensive tone because you did have sack leader Dante Fowler Jr. leave this offseason, going to the Cowboys. Of all teams, the Cowboys. He had to go to the Cowboys. And you needed someone to fill in that gap. I'm not saying Von Miller is going to be that guy that fills in the gap. I'm not saying that at all. Whoopsie right there. Didn't mean to do that. But right there, by no means I'm not. But, make the gap smaller than it has to be. We know that Commanders are going all in. So can you just patch the holes? You don't have to be fully, filled in. But you know what I mean. The offense have made major improvements. Can you make adjustments on the defense where they won't be flawed? They won't be exposed when it comes to those big game time scenarios? Can Von Miller bring that pressure, put the Commanders over the hump, and take them, to the place where he's been, to a Super Bowl? You guys let me know. Let me know in the comments, people with that elite ball knowledge, because if you're a Commanders fan, you know that elite ball knowledge. Does it make sense for the Commanders to go out to get Von Miller, or does it make no sense at all? He won't bring pressure. He won't generate pressure. Let me know in the comments down below. But if anything breaks among the Commanders atmosphere, it'll be covered right here on the channel. I'm Azael Mejia with Commanders Digest, and I'll see you in the next video.